Shishikharanta Mayapur Sashi Ki Jai. So we continue reading Prabhupada, your ever well-wisher, by His Holiness Satsarup Maharaj. And the last instruction, Srila Prabhupada was concerned that what he wrote, he published and distributed. It was his service. Srila Prabhupada was concerned that what he wrote, he be published and distributed. It was his service to his Guru Maharaj, and he received great satisfaction in hearing that book distribution was still expanding all over the world. Harikesh Swami, the GBC of Northern and Eastern Europe, reported that he was printing a very large quantity of books in 13 languages. After hearing only the beginning of this report, Srila Prabhupada exclaimed, "All the blessings of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj on you." You are the most important grandson of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Go on doing like this. In a similar mood, Srila Prabhupada pushed his GBC secretary for India, Gopal Krishna, to produce Hindi books faster and in greater quantities. Whenever Gopal Krishna came to visit Srila Prabhupada without a new publication, Prabhupada would reprimand him for his slowness. Gopal Krishna therefore began a policy of visiting Prabhupada only when he had a new book to present. In mid-July, when Gopal Krishna brought a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, part 2 in Hindi, Srila Prabhupada accepted it happily and said, "Twice now, unless he brings some books, he won't come." Because every time I criticize him, where is the book? Where is the book? Toward the end of July, Prabhupada's health seemed to be worsening again, and again he mentioned that the end might come at any moment. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. We read from the Vaishnava calendar. Shri Vishwarupa Mahotsava. Vishwarup, Lord Chaitanya's elder brother, took sannyas on this day. Acceptance of sannyas by Srila Prabhupada, which happened today in today's Tithi. Srila Prabhupada accepted sannyas on the 17th of September 1959 at the Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math in Vrindavan. His god brother, His Holiness Pragyana Keshava Maharaj, presided over the ceremony. The Gaudiya Patrika gave an account of the sannyas initiation. The article included a biographical sketch of Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, listing the major events of his life. The article concluded, seeing his enthusiasm and ability to write articles in Hindi, English, and Bengali, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj gave him the instruction to take Tridandi sannyas. For nearly 1 year, he had been ready to accept sannyas. In the month of Bhadra, on the day which Vishwarupa accepted sannyas, Bhakti Siddhanta Swami at the Sri Keshavji Gaudiya Math accepted sannyas from the founder of the Vedanta Samiti, Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Maharaj. Seeing him accept this ashram of renunciation, seeing this pastime for accepting the renounced order of life, we have attained great affection and enthusiasm. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. So we continue our study from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 3, chapter entitled Hiranyakashipu's Plan to Become Immortal. Text 11 is what we'll be reading today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Anyatedam Vidashyaham Ayatha Purvam Ojasa Kimanye Kala Nirdhute Kalpante Vaishnava Dibi Anyatedam Vidasyaham Ayatha Purvamojasa Kimanye Kala Nirdhute Kalpante Vaishnava Dibi Anyatedam Vidasyaham Ayatha Purvamojasa Kimanye Kala Nirdhute Kalpante Vaishnava Dibi. Anyatedam Vidasyam Ayatha Purvamojasa Kimanye Kala Nirdhute Kalpante Vaishnava Dibi. We go into word meanings. Anyatha, just the opposite. Idam, this universe. Vidasya, shall make. Aham, I. Ayatha, inappropriate. Purvam, as it was before. Ojasa, by dint of the power of my austerity. Kim, what use? Anyay, with other. Kala nirdute, vanquished in due course of time. Kalpante, at the end of the millennium. Vaishnava Adibi, with planets like Dhruva Loka or Vaikuntha Loka. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. By dint of my severe austerities, I shall reverse the results of pious and impious activities. I shall overturn all the established practices within this world. Even Dhruva Loka will be vanquished at the end of the millennium. Therefore, what is the use of it? I shall prefer to remain in the position of Brahma. Ah, purport. Hiranyakashipu's demoniac determination was explained to Lord Brahma by the demigods, who informed him that Hiranyakashipu wanted to overturn all the established principles, including some of the pots. After executing severe austerities, people within this material planet are promoted to the heavenly planets, but Hiranyakashipu wanted them to be unhappy, suffering because of the diplomatic feelings of the demigods, even in the heavenly planets. He wanted those who were harassed in this world by material transactions to be unhappy for the same reason, even in the heavenly planets. Indeed, he wanted to introduce such harassment everywhere. One might ask how this would be possible since the universal order has been established since time immemorial. But Hiranyakashipu was proud to declare that he would be able to do everything by the power of his tapasya. He even wanted to make the Vaishnava's position insecure. These are some of the symptoms of Asuric determination. वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपा बुद्धिर्य तमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Warm welcome everyone in the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we continue, and what we see here is being Narad Muni is narrating this to Maharaj Yudhishthir about Hiranyakashipu's mentality, his desire, his thoughts, and everything. What is he up to? So, in a way, one of the definition of this material world is what? One of the definition could well be the mental asylum is taken over by the lunatics. There's this the mental asylum being taken over by the lunatics. In some form or shape, we all are in some form or shape a bit lunatic, let's say. And this world is fair to say it is slightly like a mental asylum only. And the demonic mentality is what exploiting the material nature. So lunatics trying to take over the mental asylum, which is us only, trying to exploit the material nature for our own interest, for our own enjoyment, for our own benefit. Now, the whole Krishna consciousness is to turn the society upside down, not physically, but in consciousness. Hmm. How the society is by and large living in I, me, and mine mentality. I, me, and mine. Na? So, this me mentality. What is would be the upside down of me? The upside down of me, or we. So the Krishna consciousness is a platform. It's an engagement. It's an opportunity wherein we can come out of this me mentality and go into a we mentality. We are the guardians of this world. We are the protectors, say the caretakers of this world. The world will be protected once we protect our consciousness. Because this world, the workings of this world is nothing but an external projections, external activity, and all everything of our internal consciousness. So once we are internally living in a we consciousness, coming out of me consciousness, then we can see that law of nature is working fine. We can see that the plants, the flowers that are grown, actually everything like coming to its own nature when we actually live by our own nature. That is Krishna consciousness. And here in what we see, um, Hiranyakashipu, this is demonic mentality, na? To to control, to exercise full control. And like Srila Prabhupada ji, he said this, right? Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He's the supreme controller, Ishvara. Na? Something to see. Look, one name of Krishna is Ishvara or Parmeshwara. Uh, Krishna says, na, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suridam sarvabhutanam rakshati. Through Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is describing himself, he is giving his identity, his definition, who is he. So he is the supreme controller. So Krishna is such a thief. He's such a thief. When we chant the holy names of Krishna, when we engage ourselves in loving devotional service in association of devotees, he will take away all the unwanted things, all the miseries is because in our consciousness we are carrying a lot of unwanted things. That is why we suffer because of misidentity crisis. So Krishna, in the form of Hari, he will take away all the unwanted things. Just like a thief, he will take away. But he is a slightly different style of thief, unlike say traditional societal thieves. Societal thieves, what do we say? What do we see? Societal thieves, they will come to the house, they will take away valuables from the house, right? And they will make the house way more dirty. They will scatter the house and all in order to not get caught. Krishna, what does it do? He comes, he is within the heart, he manifests within the heart and takes away all the unwanted things, takes away all the anarthas from the heart, and just doesn't leave it there. He's the special thief. What? Govinda, another name of Krishna. One of the most beautiful name of Krishna, Govinda. What Govind? One who gives pleasure. to the senses, to the cows. So he's that sort of thief. He will take away all the unwanted things, but then fill in blossom our heart altogether. Give us a lot of joy, joy, bliss, love in our hearts altogether. And this is when we let Krishna to be the supreme controller. When he understands that he is the supreme controller, when we let him be the controller, supreme controller, then he can do his magic. He can steal away. He can take away all the unwanted things we are holding on to, harboring for, and he will fill our heart with pure love. So Prabhupada, he shares in his classes and all that Hiranyakashipu, he was aspiring to become God. He was aspiring to become the supreme controller. But Prabhupada tells us there's not much of joy in that. Say, go a step further. Hmm? Prabhupada told us, teaches us what? That become the father of God. That ways you can control God. Go a step further. And the only way to control Lord Shri Krishna is by loving sentiments, loving attachments. By sincere love and devotion only, Krishna can be subdued, or he allows himself to be captivated in that sense. So herein we see Hiranyakashipu, he's uh, extremely trying to control this demoniac mentality. Us practicing Krishna consciousness devotees doesn't mean that we don't control also, but externally we might be controlling, but internally the mood all should be to serve. Hmm. Internally the mood all should be to take care of, to handle, to manage. Say. That should be the mood, not that okay, controlling should not make us feel any puffed up that I am the owner or I am the possessor or anything of those sorts. Now, uh, these are Hiranyakashipu, the embodiment of all demonic qualities, all demonic nature. Uh, now, Bhagavad Gita, we understand chapter 16 describes divine and demonic qualities, divine and demonic nature. One beautiful thing I find is the chapter is not divine and demoniac person. It's the nature. It's the mind. So easily I get caught up. Oh, he's a divine person. She's a or he's a demoniac person. Person. If I see the person, we all are spirit souls. So deep down, we all are pure Krishna conscious entities only. We all are potential pure devotee of Krishna. It's just the mind is a bit uh, upside down. It's just the mind is a bit topsy-turvy, a bit upside down. And then we appear to be cranky and all. But actually we all are pure spirit souls only. Uh, so when I try to differentiate, uh, stay, separate the mind from the soul proper, I will first find peace in myself. And if only I am peaceful within myself, then only I can act accordingly. So this is something for my own to learn in my particular dealings throughout. So how can I learn this? Okay, how to distinguish between the mind and the soul proper. And demonic mentality, they are very diplomatic, as it says in the purport throughout. They're very diplomatic. They're very self-centered. To satisfy their agenda, greed, and all, they will go any extent, do anything. And this is what we are seeing Hiranyakashipu, the sort of austerities is going to perform. He's going to perform uh, with this intent. So demigods all being shaken up that this is Hiranyakashipu's plan. Now, plan making is not necessarily a very passionate or un-Krishna conscious thing. It's not necessarily a demonic thing. No, it depends what our plan is. Does our plan make God laugh or does our plan make God smile? If we don't plan also, then we are not engaging or participating in our participation of Krishna consciousness. Uh, but our all our plans should be something that does not make God laugh. Rather, it should make God smile. If our plans, if our determination, Like we see now, the Prachetas, the brothers, how they engaged in meditation austerity. So it's not like they didn't plan. It's not like they did not coordinate or no. They did plan, they did coordinate, and then they engaged in devotional service. And they barely had started, but Lord Shiva became so pleased. They barely started, even just by their planning and their desire and thoughts and their good cooperation, Lord Shiva became so pleased, and they received good blessings and benedictions. Uh, So plan making, there is definitely scope for plan making in Krishna consciousness, but as long as our plan and everything should be in a way to bring joy to Guru and Gaurang. Here we see Hiranyakashipu, he's scaling on becoming the most self-obsessed personality in the universe, complete self-obsessed personality in the universe. And Krishna consciousness is to free us from self-obsession to become Krishna obsessed. That is the entire process, and that is where we will find our real joy when we are Krishna obsessed. Krishna obsessed meaning obsessed with the joy of Krishna. Obsessed means looking, seeing for the joy of Krishna. So austerity is very powerful. Sense control, mind control, tremendously powerful. He he was planning to do such austerities and all to reverse the entire course of action, entire course of workings of this material world, and those designated personalities for the maintenance of the cosmic affairs. He took away, he stole all the power from them because of his austerity. Just like sometimes we see na political coup, is it called, or political coup, right? Coup. So the parliament, the government could be in power, could be in action, huh? But some other, say, political party or some people and all, they go and take over the parliament altogether, huh? And they capture, they take away, steal away all the powers, and they make their own laws, own rules, and everything. But this is like through the hint of wrong power. Shishikharanta, Mayapu, Sashi, this is not by as such some austerity, some tapasya and all. In here, it's more like a see. In this material world, we are very gross now. We are very let's admit it a bit. We are a bit thick-headed. So it's a very gross mentality that capturing this sort of power. But Hiranyakashipu, how he captured the power is through his austerities. He took away all the power, so he was going to take away all the powers from the administrators of the cosmic affairs and bring out his own laws. But throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand what Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So eventually, Hiranyakashipu will also learn a lesson, receive a lesson, and the proper treatment. And we see that Krishna is, was, and will be always the supreme personality of God and the supreme controller. Okay, maybe I will take a pause in here. If there are any thoughts, comments, questions, or reflections?
Thanks for the. You're saying that by dint of his austerities, but we see from the austerities, he's creating fire that's coming from his hair, and he's burning. Everyone's very very scared. Is the austerity simply as like a bargaining tool that like you do this or else we're going to burn everything, or is it more than that? Now you say like people could hold a gun to your head or say you give us the money or else we will kill these hostages or something. Is it the sort of same principle as that?
On those lines, but not so gross, say, in the sense like demonic people, if you see their austerity, like those who do Vishnu Aradhana. Vishnu Aradhana is understood to be, scriptures say, Vishnu Aradhana is in the mode of goodness. Waking up early, living clean, and healthy diet, and living clean, doing pious work, charity, furthermore, and all. So Vishnu Aradhana is very much in the mode of goodness, or one coming in the mode of goodness. And many demigods worship, we see it is in the mode of passion or in the mode of ignorance. They will go to bed in the morning time, throughout the night awake and doing some sort of tantric upasana, some sort of this that upasana, austerities and all, to attract energies, to attract the energies, so that they can fulfill their own agenda. And this is prevalent. This is prevalent in society. We see people doing austerities or some sort of puja and worship something in cremation grounds or near cremation grounds, so that they can get some subtle energies. They can capture some subtle beings, get some subtle energies, and use those subtle beings to fulfill their agenda, to fulfill their desire and power sort of things. So, uh, Hiranyakashipu, he was expert in manipulating. He was expert in manipulating and exploiting. Prior to this chapter, we see na Hiranyakashipu consoling his wives and his brothers' wives, family members. So they're very expert at where should I sound sober, where should I sound silent, good and all, how do I pacify them, how do I control over them. Then he was rallying his soldiers. We see different places he's rallying his army and soldiers, or he will be rallying his army and soldiers to be hungry for blood, to give up life. And furthermore, similar Duryodhan, how he was diplomatically speaking with Bhishma Pitama. On one side, he is saying that Bhishma Pitama, you are the commander in chief, you are the stalwart of our army and all. And he's hinting also saying that, okay, you are the oldest personality, the experienced oldest personality. And just then what he says, everyone involved give protection to Bhishma Pitama. He's the most important personality, we need to safeguard him. But in his mentality is what? Bhishma Pitama is getting old, not so sure will he be able to sustain the war, not sustain the war and all. He needs some protection. So these, they are very diplomatic, very manipulative, trying to use, manipulate, exert resources in a way that fulfills the agenda. Externally may be good, externally may be fine, but internally the purpose is very filthy sin. So in this instance, Hiranyakashipu did not necessarily be as gross that, okay, give me your money, otherwise I shoot you, or this sort of thing. But the mentality is still there. He's manipulating the resources, the activities, the workings through his austerities. And this austerity, he's not doing austerity. The important point I feel is that he's not doing austerity to please Lord Vishnu. Nothing towards Vishnu centered. And this is why through this tremendous austerity, he isn't getting any purified. See, he's been doing austerity for long period of time. Way hard austerity. And what do we see? Dhruva Maharaj also did austerity. For how long? 6 months only. Dhruva Maharaj also did austerities, and he also stepped up in his sadhana. But as he was progressing in his sadhana, he was getting so much of realization, so much of purification, that his desire, he was like feeling ashamed of himself, that what did I come to ask you for? Stana bilashi tapasi stitoham. Tvam praptavan Tvam praptavan deva munindra guhyam. So Dhruva Maharaj was saying that, okay, I came to this place to do tapasya, to do austerity. And now I have attained you through these austerities, which is even difficult for demigods to attain. Completely difficult for demigods to attain. Kacham vichinvan api divya ratnam. The intent, what I started with, was to get this a planet bigger than Lord Brahma, broken glasses. But what I'm receiving is diamond, shining diamond all together. Swamin Pitarthosmi Varam Nayache. This was his realization. He was feeling so embarrassed that what I've done. But we don't see anything like that happening in Hiranyakashipu's case. Yes, bro.
She knows if Hiranyakashipu had been performing his austerities instead of for Lord Brahma, if he'd have been doing them for Lord Vishnu, then would he have got purified? Because Dhruva, it's described that intensity was Tivrena, and it wasn't because of the purity of his desire, it was the intensity that drew Vishnu's attention, because it was only once he saw Vishnu that then he felt ashamed. But up until he'd seen Vishnu, until he got darshan, he was still, he still had that very strong desire to have a kingdom greater than his father's. So that would seem like an impurity, same as Hiranyakashipu, really.
Dhruva Maharaj, the ultimate purity for Dhruva Maharaj and for all of us is he had a faith in his spiritual master. He got the instruction, he took the instruction of Suruchi, although harsh words, but the words were for his benefits. Okay, so he took it. Then he took the words of Suniti, his mother also. And then he met Narad Muni. Along the way, he met Narad Muni and he had faith, firm faith in Narad Muni. And then he practiced austerity. Then he did all the tapasya. And yes, Tivrena was there. There has to be Tivrena, there has to be focus, there has to be intense. He was very one-pointed, very one-focused. So much so that with his toe, just with his toe, he was able to the material universe altogether, pull it down, shake it up, change the course altogether. Demigods were suffocating even then because of his austerity. But in the suffocation of his austerity, they approached that all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma approaching Lord Vishnu that you're this boy, he's performing such tremendous austerity and we are not able to sustain ourselves, hold ourselves. But that was not like of a complaint sort of. They said, okay, kindly you do something because we are not able to look after the cosmic affairs. And as he was performing those austerities and all, further excelling, and then he opened his eyes, Lord Vishnu, he had the darshan of Lord Vishnu in his heart. And then that Lord Vishnu in his heart disappeared, was shaken up. He then opened his eyes and he sees Lord Vishnu directly. So seeing that, he realized. But yes, if Hiranyakashipu had done austerities for Lord Vishnu, then he might have started on a wrong note, with a wrong desire, with an impure desire, but that austerities would have purified him. That is the entire purpose. Who starts as such clean? If we see our slate, all of our slate is very colorful or dirty. But Hiranyakashipu, had he done austerity for Lord Vishnu, he would have been purified. Like Mahaprabhu says, na, Ami Vigya E Murkhe Vishekeno Devo. So that I am intelligent. He is coming with a faulty thought, faulty desire, but I am intelligent. Why will I not give him what he should be getting, what he should be desiring, what he really needs? I will give him that. But Hiranyakashipu, being envious and offensive of Brahmanas, scriptures, sadhu scriptures, and Lord Vishnu, it could never barge in his consciousness to worship Lord Vishnu. Yes, had he done worship for...
Because we see with Ravan as well, so these, when you worship demigods, one of the problems is that you'll have your material desires fulfilled, but you won't have your material desires purified. So that's why it's very much stressed. Don't take shelter of demigods. Take shelter because Krishna, he won't give you what you need, what you want. He'll give you what you need. So he'll look at a way of somehow being able to fulfill your desire, but at the same time purify you of your desire.
And ultimately, desires are desires only. Ultimately, desires are desires. It is our consciousness that, okay, makes it material or spiritual. In the sense, desire is just desire. Like for Krishna, nothing is Maya, everything spirit, matter, there's no distinction as such. But when any desire which is self-centered, material desire which is not for the joy of Guru and Gaurang, then it is a material desire. Like practicing devotional service, we see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains us, yeah, in Madhurya Kadambini and further, like even this name, fame, all of this, so we are still like practicing devotional service, but still out of it, if we are trying to get anything, it's kind of a not pure spiritual loving desire. There is a slant of it, na? Karma Mishra Bhakti, Gyan Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. There is a slant. Desires are ultimately desires, and they need to be so much purified that eventually there's nothing but any desire, it becomes spiritual only then.
Hiranyakashipu have a spiritual master?
His mind is a spiritual master, we see. His ego is the spiritual master, we see. His heavy determination with his desire and all of this is a spiritual master. We don't see in Shastra as such he taking spiritual master, although these Daityas, these Asuras, these demons, they have the spiritual master as Shukracharya. And different demonic dynasties also, different spiritual masters. But even those spiritual masters, they are either more seminal spiritual masters or spiritual masters who don't do Vishnu worship, who don't advocate Vishnu worships. And they study Shastras, they study scriptures, but they know how to take away things from the scriptures and all. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, na, second chapter, Veda Vada Ratha Patha, something like a study so eloquently, flowery language, flowery studying scriptures, but they don't get the sar, the essence of the scriptures at all.
I was hearing actually, it's mentioned in the past time of Bali Maharaj when he's decided he will give 3 steps of land to Vamanadev, and Shukracharya is saying, no, do not do this. Gives him so many reasons, it's still dharma because you need money to sustain yourself, and you need to give money to me. I'm the spiritual master. And it's not in the Bhagavatam, but one of the other Puranas, it mentions that when Bali Maharaj goes to take water in his hand to make some sankalpa, and he uses some Achaman pot, something, and basically Shukracharya, he, using his mystic potency, transforms himself into like a small insect, little fly, and goes into a little hole where the water is going to come out and blocks the water from coming out. And so Bali Maharaj is trying to take the water out of this Achaman pot. I'm not sure the details, but it won't come. And then so Lord Vamanadev, he takes a blade of grass, a kusha grass, and he pokes Shukracharya in the form of an insect right in the eye. And so he pokes him in the eye, and so he comes out, and afterwards it's described that he's saying this represents Shukracharya. He only has one eye to see the scriptures, because he's simply trying to see them, how he can use them to get material gain.
Demoniacally. He's a demon. Another one's doing them, but he's by nature divine. He's a deva. So although externally it looks like they're both performing austerities and both doing the same thing, they have different natures. So it seems that that's like a predetermining factor, not the activity itself, but the attitude with which it's being performed. It's also interesting in the Gita it says that one who tortures the super soul within, you engage in austerities, very severe austerities.
Yeah.
And so severe that it destroys the body, and then that causes disturbance to the super soul as well.
Yes. So super soul gets upset now because, well, in a way nothing upsets or Krishna never becomes sad, say, but yet the concern and all. So that way is like upset in the sense, okay, look, you have so much potential, but where are you channelizing your energy? So Hiranyakashipu, wow, tremendous potential. We don't need, I don't need to do this much. If I can do just 1% of what Hiranyakashipu did say, but with faith, in terms of, if we see the standing on these many years, tolerating these many weather situations and all, if I can do even just 1% of that, but with good faith, with good loving sentiment, with good attitude, that is great. That is great. So all these austerities and all, something should purify the heart. What is the purpose of austerity otherwise if it is not purifying the heart? And the ultimate, if catalyst is the word, or the ultimate turning point is sadhu sangha, devotee association. We could be engaged in whatever austerity with what attitude, good or bad, say, and good level or bad level of, say, austerity. But if with some faith we take devotee association, then we can see gradually the penny will drop, and we can see, okay, what life is meant for, what austerities should I be doing, what is the purpose of austerity, uh, how and for whom should I be doing this austerity. And one can see the results of practicing Krishna consciousness should be some contentment, some satisfaction, some pleasure which is not dependent. Otherwise, in society, see, all our pleasures are dependent pleasures. Is it not? Everything is dependent, just like a deck of cards. Make a pyramid from a deck of cards. So each and every card is dependent on another card, another card, another card. And if any one of the card is shaken up slightly, the whole pyramid crushes down, comes down. So everything is, as society is like this only, heavy dependence on this material consciousness. But when we genuinely try to practice Krishna consciousness, then we can see externally things changing, not changing, but our relationship with Krishna, our faith in Guru and Gauranga, our relationship with Krishna, our faith will keep us in a peaceful state, happy and moving forward. This is something Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, all of them we see. They knew the scriptures, but they hardly knew the heart of the scriptures. The heart of the scriptures is taking association, doing bhakti in association of devotees. The heart of the scriptures is like falling in love with the association. Then we can understand how to love Krishna. We don't love Krishna, but devotees, they know how to love Krishna, or they are in love with Krishna. And when we associate with them, when we serve them, then we also, by their blessing, by their mercy, we also understand how to love and serve Krishna. Yes, Lord. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So Hiranyakashipu, like we see in third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes in the purport, 15th chapter, I believe, text 26. Prabhupada writes that Lord has a fighting spirit, Vishnu has a fighting spirit. Why not? Krishna has desires, all desires, one of which is to fight. So, but there are two things which are not there in the spiritual world. What? There is no preaching in spiritual world, and there are no demons. There is no killing in spiritual world. There are no demons, and there is no. Our understanding of demon is like, as Prabhu was saying, someone with raised horns and shabby looking, dark, very, very grossly dressed, and something like that. But yeah, that is also true. That is also true, and there are ages, there are places, and all where this is happening. Say, but in Kali Yuga and all, we need not. We can dress very elegant also, but can yet be demonic in our desire, in our hearts, in our nature, in our attitude. Also, society, friends, family members. When we start practicing Krishna consciousness, how do they measure this advancement? Okay, yes, he is actually a different person, he's actually changed. So they will say, oh, you have been practicing 1 year, 2 year, 5 year doing this japa. What's on? What's nothing we see? Maybe are they expecting, okay, once I start growing horns, once I start levitating or something, then they will get the proof that, okay, yes, he's doing something. Society works at a gross level, gross proof or gross demonic or gross divine mentality, sort of. So, but this is all to go further and further subtle, further and further deep in our Krishna consciousness. So, thank you very much for your kind attention and participation. ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की, शिला प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी।